Hey everyone. Today, we're going to talk about something that's really important to a lot of people: how to support a healthy early pregnancy. We're going to be looking at a specific acupuncture protocol that's aimed at reducing miscarriage risk, and all the info we're covering comes straight from the experts at the Berkeley Center for Reproductive Wellness. All right, let's get into it.
So I want to start with just one number: 90%. Just let that sink in for a second. When we're talking about early pregnancy, what do you think that number really means?
Well, here it is. 90% of all miscarriages happen within the first 12 weeks. That single statistic just hammers home how incredibly critical and vulnerable that first trimester really is, and it's the whole reason we're focusing on it today.
And that number, it speaks directly to what so many people feel during early pregnancy. It's this time of incredible excitement, but man, it can also be a time of serious anxiety.
And to put it in perspective, the data shows that up to 1 in 5, that's 20% of known pregnancies end in miscarriage. So if you've ever felt that anxiety during this time, it is completely valid. It's a really common experience, and it's exactly why people are looking for gentle, supportive ways to navigate it. This timeline just makes it crystal clear why all that anxiety is so concentrated at the beginning. You see that highlighted area? From week 1 all the way to week 12, that whole window is the highest risk period. That's where that 90% figure lives, and it's the exact time frame this protocol is built to cover.
So what can be done? How can we approach this vulnerable time with a little more support? Well, that brings us to acupuncture. And it's so important to frame this the right way. We're talking about a supportive therapy. It's designed to work with your body. It's not some kind of guaranteed cure.
I think this quote from the source material just perfectly captures the whole idea here. This isn't about some aggressive intervention. It's all about gentle nurturing, supporting the body during a time of huge change and vulnerability, and how that support can really truly make a difference.
And it's really important to know where this protocol comes from. The Berkeley Center for Reproductive Wellness was literally the first center of its kind in the entire U.S. to specialize in this stuff, using complementary medicine for fertility challenges. They've been at this for over 20 years, so the protocol we're talking about is built on a ton of experience.
Okay, so the big question: how is this all supposed to work? What's actually happening? What are the theories behind using acupuncture to support an early pregnancy? Let's break it down.
Well, according to the research, it really boils down to 3 key things. First up, it's thought to promote blood flow, right where you need it, to the uterus, the placenta, the yolk sac. Super important for nourishing a developing embryo. Second, it might help support the regulation of all those hormones that are absolutely crucial for keeping a pregnancy stable. And third, it can help ease stress. And we definitely know that stress can have a real physical impact on pregnancy outcomes.
And check this out. This is some of the data that's really making people pay attention. In one study that was focused on IVF patients, the group that got acupuncture had a miscarriage rate of just 5%. The control group, the one that didn't, their rate was 11%. That's more than double. I mean, that's a seriously striking result that points to the potential here.
And the research doesn't just stop there. Scientists have been looking at all kinds of situations, from threatened miscarriages to recurrent loss. And look, more big studies are always needed. That's how science works. But the theme popping up again and again is really promising. It suggests acupuncture is a safe and potentially effective tool to have in the toolbox.
Okay, so this brings us to the protocol itself. We've talked about the why and the how, so now let's get into the what. What does this supportive plan actually look like in practice?
And right away, you're probably asking the same question I did. Why so specific? Twice a week for 13 weeks. That's a very precise schedule. And yep, there is a very clear reason for it.
The answer ties right back to that timeline we saw a few minutes ago. This whole protocol is designed to give consistent, steady support through that entire 12-week, highest-risk window. Having sessions twice a week ensures that support never really drops off during that critical phase of development. So why does it stop at week 13? Because that week is a huge biological milestone. By this point, the placenta is way more established, and it's starting to take over the job of producing hormones. And because of that, the risk of miscarriage just drops, like, way down. The protocol is basically designed to help get you safely to that crucial finish line.
So, let's just pull this all together for a second. The big picture is this. Those first 12 weeks are, without a doubt, the most vulnerable time in a pregnancy. A supportive therapy like acupuncture is being looked at seriously for its potential to help, maybe by improving blood flow, helping with hormones, and lowering stress. And that's why this specific protocol, twice a week for 13 weeks, is set up to provide that consistent support right through that entire critical window.
Now, of course, the number one most important step is to always talk with your own healthcare provider. But if you want to learn more from the specialists we talked about today, you can get in touch with the Berkeley Center. I think the key thing to take away is that there are supportive options out there being explored to help navigate that really anxious wait. So, it makes you wonder, what could it mean to reframe early pregnancy not just as a time of risk, but as a time for proactive, nurturing support? Thanks for tuning in.